Welcome to video log 4 on sprinting drills. This video will be focusing on the A-skip drill. The A-skip is a commonly used drill to enhance sprint mechanics, and this video will look at the potential performance benefits from incorporating the A-skip into training, derivatives of the exercise, and consider the skills and/or capacities that may be improved when using the A-skip. The sprint cycle can be broken down into three basic components, the first of which is high knee lift, with combined hip and knee flexion. The second phase is knee extension, where the athlete throws their leg out in front of them. And this is quickly followed by hip extension. And then the final phase of the sprint cycle is kicking back, where the athlete's heel comes towards their glutes. And the A-skip drill focuses mainly on the initial high knee drive of the sprint cycle. Here we can see the A-skip. And one of the main aims of this drill is to improve the motor control of our athlete and speed of movement through the high knee drive. In terms of coaching cues, we're looking for the athlete to bring their heel to hamstring and maintain a dorsiflexed ankle throughout the movement. This ankle dorsiflexion can help to preload the series elastic component to help the athlete make the most of the stretch shortening cycle upon ground contact. This could therefore suggest that we're looking to increase the athlete's capacity for quick ground contact time with the A-skip drill. As can be seen here, the A-skip requires a large amount of coordination, and as such, we as strength and conditioning coaches can use a regressed version in the form of an A-march to coach the correct motor patterning. Now, during this movement, the coaching cues could be to drive the knee up and maintain the dorsiflexed ankle underneath the knee, and to also coach a straight leg pullback to try and reduce the athlete's braking force during sprinting by getting their foot underneath their centre of mass when they make contact with the track. This is actually quite hard to do during the A-march, as can be seen here, and it is actually easier for the athlete to get their foot underneath their centre of mass during the full A-skip. We can see that this particular athlete has the capacity to get his knee high whilst also maintaining dorsiflexion in the ankle. This will transfer onto the track in a sprint race, allowing the athlete to take advantage of that preloaded series elastic component. To help the athlete develop this movement pattern and therefore capacity, hurdles may be used as part of the A-skip drill to provide our athlete with an external focus. Note here the requirement for the high knee and dorsiflexed ankle to help clear the hurdle, and again notice the straight leg pullback to get the foot underneath the centre of mass to help reduce the braking force during ground contact. This is particularly important during a sprint race, as our athletes want to maintain their top speed and not be slowed down by a braking force.
The A-skip and march could be regressed even further while still using apparatus to provide an external focus for our athlete. We can see here that he is driving his foot down and back to get the foot into the correct square of the ladder, which mimics what we want to see on a track. The knee is going reasonably high in the drive, however, it's going nowhere near as high as we saw with the hurdle drill, and there is less dorsiflexion occurring at the ankle underneath the knee. Now, these are two different athletes, so their skills and capacities are going to be different. However, the reduced external focus in terms of the height the athlete has to clear will require him to have a lesser knee drive and to have less dorsiflexion in order to clear the flat ladder compared with the hurdle. Where this may come into its own, however, would be as a screening tool. So we can see here that the athlete is externally rotating his right hip to access a greater degree of hip flexion. And if we saw this with our athletes, we could potentially work on this movement pattern and the tissue capacities of the athlete before progressing them onto a more positively transferable drill in the form of the hurdle drill. I would progress the A-skip with adding in a knee extension to form a B-skip. This mimics the eccentric loading of the hamstrings during high-speed running, and it also requires the athlete to really emphasise that clawing back on the track to get their foot underneath the centre of mass as is desired in a sprint race. I believe that the A-skip and march drills are a good example of how a skill can help to develop an athlete's capacity. Coaching our athlete into the correct form using the A, march and skip in terms of their posture, ankle dorsiflexion and foot being pulled underneath the centre of mass may help them to ultimately increase their capacity to produce force because we've put them in the most mechanically advantaged position.